Hey everybody, it's Josh Cline with the Built to Last podcast, and today on our episode we have Jacob Hooper with the Crew Heating and Air.
Hello.
Hey Jacob, thank you for coming on. First and foremost, what got you into this business? What got you into AC repair? And
Well, when I was 15 years old, my dad told me to get a job, and my best friend was running an air conditioning company, and I became his first employee against his will, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's awesome. So yeah, we talk pretty often, quite often. You service my house, you service the business. You kind of take care of all our HVAC needs. What we like to do on this podcast is really about consumer education, right? So we like to understand, what people should be looking for when they're hiring a company. What are some things they need to do preventatively? What are some things that, they might not know about their system that are important to know? So I know your tagline is one of my favorites.
Yeah, we focus on the little things before little things turn into big things.
That's right. So, and I love that tagline because it is about maintaining the home, right? And maintaining a healthy home. And it's really important. So what are some of the things that, let's start with, customers don't know about their HVAC systems?
What I'd start with is, your thermostat's a light switch.
Okay.
All the time we have customers calling, hey, I keep on dropping the temperature on my thermostat and it's not going down. Well, that doesn't make it work better. It turns it on.
Gotcha.
So the first thing is, if you notice that it's not keeping up the way it normally is, make the call.
Yeah.
Check your filters.
Okay.
If you can hear your filter, it is dirty. You're not supposed to be hearing your air filter.
How do you hear the air filter? Explain it.
So if you can hear it whistle, it pulls air in. It's catching all the debris inside your house. The moment it starts talking to you, it's telling you to replace it. It's just very beneficial that way.
Yeah.
And what we do is we move heat. Well, if you reduce the amount of air over that coil, you've taken away heat from that coil. It's going to turn into an ice cube. You're really going to be hot.
Yeah.
So, listen to your air filter. Don't buy expensive air filters.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of people chase allergens with large $20 air filters.
Okay.
What you're doing is taking a piece of cardboard, putting it in front of your air conditioner. It's going to catch some of that debris and dander, but it's also going to put wear and tear on your system. Your system wants to breathe freely. Don't buy expensive air filters.
So what are some things they need to do to make sure they can keep some of those allergens and those dust and debris out of their home?
The best thing for your system, if you have allergy issues, is indoor air quality treatments, indoor ionizers. They make hydrogen peroxide generators. These are things that we put, we'll start with an ionizer.
Okay.
What we do is we put electrons into the air. This is the layman version of this. I'm not a scientist. I fix air conditioners for a living. What we're doing is we're electrifying your air, in theory, causing all those dust particles to clump together and become easier to filter with a cheaper filter.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's you take a small particle, make it bigger. One, it'll fall out of the air. You can sweep it up. You'll actually see more dust early on whenever you have an ionizer. Then as that goes on, you'll actually have less in your house because it's really starting to be picked up by that air filter.
So the ionizer, can that be added to any system?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You take it. We take them. We put them on the blower motor, which puts it into the airstream. Okay. They're, as far as cost-effective means, they're one of the cheaper ways of starting the IAQ treatment. You can go as expensive as you want to. You can put lots of money into indoor air quality. Ionizer is the first starting point and is about as cheap as it can come.
Okay, awesome. But it will help with it. For sure. Okay, that's great to hear. Because our mutual friend Jason, he's big on clean air and healthy homes.
Yes. Jason is the high-end version of the clean house. Gotcha. I was about to bring him up. I was like, if you really want a clean house, I got a guy.
Yeah.
I'd say he does really cool stuff with ERVs, which is actually pulling in fresh air from outside and ejecting the air from your house. That's the really nice stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. When he was on here, we were talking about it, and I've been to a couple of his houses and seen some of his builds, and it's really insane how much air he's changing.
Yes.
How often?
I mean, he has an intake and an ejector in each room just for the air cleaner, not the air conditioner.
And that's, it's a great product for somebody who's building their forever home and what he does, right? But everyday people that already own a home.
I have solutions for them. I can't really say I can't build you the most energy efficient house on earth. I can make what you have better.
That's right. So talk to me about the hydrogen peroxide.
Yes.
So everybody thinks I'm just thinking about how I clean my wounds out when I cut myself.
Well, kind of the same idea.
Okay.
So there are a couple different products on the market where as air passes over a catalyst, it emits peroxide into the air. It's a positive air cleaner, whereas air filter would be a passive air cleaner because it's picking it up on the way in. This puts cleaning chemicals into the air. Okay. It allows them to clean hard surfaces, kills 99% of germs. In most hospitals, that's what they're using. It's on a grand scale, and there's a couple other things attached to it. But as far as from ionization to, which is going to take care of dander, this is going to take care of your germs, your diseases.
Okay.
RGF, who makes ring halos, they basically came up with the technology with another company called Air Scrubber, and they're competitors, but same technology.
Okay.
And all you do is you install these into your duct system in the airstream, okay. And as the air passes over, it releases those chemicals into your house. These are safe chemicals. It's hydrogen peroxide, everybody. But the cool thing about it is it cleans hard surfaces.
Yeah. Not
just the air around it. It's whatever that air touches gets cleaned as well.
Okay.
And odors, all that fun stuff.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So I have a cousin who struggled. She was living in a house that apparently had mold in it. They found out later, right? But she was having a lot of medical issues. And it turns out a lot of it had to do with the air quality in the home that they were living in. So it's amazing. Is that something? Is that a product that
it will
clean that stuff up? I mean, not 100%. You need to have somebody mitigate.
Until 2 days ago, I would have bet the house on it because I'm RGF certified. They came in and done tons of training. I have the products on my home. Every house I've owned, I put an RGF product on. Monday, we actually pulled one out of the system while we were doing a duct cleaning for our remediation company, actually. And we actually found mold on the actual piece. And she said, and even Rusty, our remediation lady, she'd never seen it that way. So if you have an extreme mold problem, which this house had one, one of the children got very sick, actually, you need more than just an air cleaner. You're going to need remediation as well. Yeah. The air cleaner is always good to have, but there's levels to this.
Yeah, and it's whether or not the mold is live, whether it's living currently, or if it's old, right? All those things can come into play with what you need to do. But if you see mold or anything in your home, get somebody to mitigate it as immediate as possible.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, so
not a fan.
Yeah, you talked about some of the certifications, right? Mm-hmm. Walk me through what it takes to be an HVAC tech.
Wow. Okay. There are several different trade schools around Nashville.
Yeah.
I went to Nashville Technical College. I went through a 1.5-year certification there. That's where I got my pedigrees, got my EPA, got my technical through, I can't remember the company that was. More importantly, this is a job you learn on the job.
Yeah.
And that's really what I could tell people. School's going to teach you how to write a check. And it's good to write that check and get those proper certifications so somebody will hire you to learn the job.
Yeah.
Beyond that, that's when the job really starts on learning.
Journeyman type
stuff. Now, there is a certification called NATE certification within my industry where they give you basically go through and you test on the higher end things.
Okay.
But as far as day-to-day air conditioning, at least I learned on the job.
Yeah.
Now I go to classes at supply houses and I learned airflow, I think last month, proper way of building houses using velocity. But
okay.
This is really a job, and the way I've done it, I've learned how to from trial and error.
Yeah, well, that's part of it, right? Anything in the trades, right? 100%. You got to get somebody that you can trust, that does a good job already, that can show you the ropes and teach you the things. Because there's a lot of little idiosyncrasies that happen, especially for us in our business. We're a handyman. We have to be able to do everything, a little bit of everything, right?
That's right.
What we like to do. We like the honey-do list. So for us, there's no certifications, right? No technical certifications like HVAC, plumber, and electrician. But those are things we're working to develop. And so I always like to hear from guys like you the journey that you took to become the professional that you are today.
And say, I went to school after being in the industry for 5 years.
Okay. Which probably gave you a pretty good leg up in school.
Yes, it definitely did. I was, and big thing I did in school, and this was something I would, if anybody wants to get into the trade, specifically air conditioning, read the material they give you. Don't expect your teacher to teach you. They'll do as good as they can, but they're also talking to the rest of the classroom.
Yeah.
The material they give you is really, really, really important.
Okay.
And if you don't put in the effort, if you think that all I need is what he's going to talk to me about, you're going to miss a lot of things that's going to help you later on.
That makes sense.
A deep theory knowledge, especially electrical theory and then refrigeration theory, if you really understand the theory, later in life you're going to come up with, why is this doing this? Well, if I think about it, heat moves this way.
Yep.
It'll help you diagnose problems that the last guy couldn't because he, once again, paid attention to the teacher, not the theory.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I can tell anybody going to trade school is listen to your teacher. He's going to help you out, but you're going to need to do the extra labor yourself to make sure you know that material.
And that's great advice for anybody going through any type of trade school, right? Because it really is, and the hands-on part is so important. It's hard for us to hire apprentices because we can't vet them, right? It's hard for me to hire a handyman because I can't. I can call previous customers, and that's what we do. We vet them as best we can, but going through a school and a certification and doing your own research, you can usually tell by talking to somebody like yourself. They know what they're talking about. Mini splits are becoming more and more popular here in the States.
Right? Oh yeah,
they've always been in the Caribbean and in Europe and in those countries. It's always been a thing. But are you seeing? Is that another unit that you're doing a lot more installs on these days?
Very much so. We're putting one in this week.
Awesome.
Because the mini split, when it comes to the I have a hot room in my home, also known as the bonus room problem.
Yep.
There's no easier way of fixing that solution than a mini split.
Gotcha.
I have an addition I'm putting on my house. Now, every time you increase the square footage of your house, you can't just add more ducts to the pre-existing ductwork. Hopefully that ductwork was designed properly for your home and it's maxed out.
Yeah.
You can't just build on an addition and be like, add more air.
That's my wife's gym. So you go into the gym, there's no air in there. There's 2 ducts. There's hoses running to them, but it does not cool down in that room because somebody did that improperly.
Exactly, and that's why I love a mini split for that solution.
Gotcha.
We're starting to see a lot of tiny homes come in the lower Columbia area. There's no reason for those to be completely ducted. Stick in a mini split.
Yeah.
Garages. A lot of that big turn my garage into a gym idea.
Yeah. We've done a couple of those. Yeah. We see that fairly often.
Yes, sir. Mini splits are great for that. I like mini splits. The only issue with mini split is when they break, it's normally a major repair.
Gotcha. That's good to know. I didn't know that.
So
because they're all compact in that little tiny.
Very compact and very smart. Very smart units. They have control boards that look like computers.
Okay.
And 9 out of 10 times, it's probably a control board.
Gotcha.
But that's no reason not to buy them. It's something I want the consumer to know. Hey, there really isn't it's a $250 small part. It's normally if there's an issue, it's going to be a repair.
Gotcha.
Their major issue is they have mechanical connections.
Okay.
Refrigerant leaks are more common on mini splits than they are on normal splits because they use flare connectors.
Yep.
And if you don't use the proper torque wrench, and they have a little paste you put on the threads, they vibrate. It's going to back off. What happens then? You leak your charge out.
Yep.
It's a really easy fix. I can count on one hand how many coils I replaced compared to how many solderings and all that I've done. But that's the downside of a mini split is they're really technical.
Yep.
And they have control board issues, especially if you don't have a good pest guy and ants decide they want to live on it.
Yeah, that can be bad. I can tell you with my unit, I did an in-ceiling cassette style, right? And that one is, I love the way it looks in the bonus room where we have it, and it's in the middle of the room, which is what I wanted instead of on a wall. Right. The problem is that when we built it out, I didn't know enough. I can build anything on a ceiling, but I didn't know HVAC well enough. Now I have it built in so tight. There's airflow. No, there's good airflow around it, but I can't service it.
Exactly.
Right? It's going to be
service issue.
We're going to have to cut my ceiling at some point to go in there and service it, I'm sure. But when people are shopping and you're doing those types of things, you got to get somebody like Jacob that knows, hey, make sure you got access to lower this thing down if we need to lower it down, right?
It'd be nice. And especially on those cassettes. 9 out of 10 issue with the cassette is drainage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's most mini splits, but especially on the cassette because that drain line backs up, it's going to start raining through your ceiling.
Yep.
And if you don't have the proper tolerances to get that joker down easily, it becomes major destruction.
Yeah, and I'm cutting my ceiling.
Unfortunately.
So let's talk a little bit about technology.
Yeah.
So you've been in this, you said 15 years now plus, right? The technology's changed quite a bit.
Yeah, tons.
You came by the office the other day because my thermostat, I walked in, it was 80 degrees at 7 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, Jacob, get over here. First response, right? But it was really just my thermostat, pop it on, pop it back off, reset the unit. But the technology's changed so much in thermostats and then everything inside HVAC. So walk us through some of the stuff that you see now that you didn't see 15 years ago.
So 15 years ago, almost everything was called light switch technology. Clap on, clap off. Okay. Single speed motors, everything was you add power, it go. In the past 15 years, we've really got into DC inversion. Now, there was some of that back then, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. Whenever we decided that the most important thing for your house was efficiency, we really had to switch from your single phase light switch technology motors to your ramping inverting motors.
Okay.
For your system to have a motor that can run at 100 different speeds, it needs a brain to control it.
Yep.
That goes from a nice little control board that all it has to do is turn that blower motor on, turn it off. Now it has to think.
Yeah.
Now it has logic. We're adding complexity.
Yep.
Now, with that can be a lot of cool things. These higher efficiency systems, they have tons of really nice humidity moving abilities and all that fun stuff. But with that comes the complexity of a control board that has to think.
Yeah.
You have a thermostat. You have to have their thermostat.
Gotcha.
And that because that thermostat is there's the word I was looking for. Communication. Not a sales guy, everybody. Big stuff. They're communicating. They talk to each other. You have a compressor outside. Most compressors 15 years ago were single speed.
Yeah.
Clap on, clap off. Then dual stage compressors started coming out on the higher end units. Whenever it's nice outside, it's running at the first speed, which is generally about 1.5 tons lower than its full capacity. Then when the heat input comes in, it gears up. Why? Because it's more efficient to pull less amps running a smaller unit than to go at high speed.
Yeah. Now
we have fully variable speed compressors that have 20 some odd settings. It sounds like an electric engine spooling up, and it's really cool technology.
Yeah.
But with that comes the complexity of needing a brain to control it.
Man, it's a lot more efficient.
It's very efficient.
Right, compared to what we were used to 15, 20 years ago.
You could normally see lights flicker when your air conditioner kicks on about 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
The old R22s were really good about that initial amp draw, just sucking power out of your house.
Yeah, I'm pulling 45 amps now.
It'd say now, okay, we'll gear into it.
Gotcha.
So, and with that, the old school stuff is easier to fix.
Yeah.
Because it's all just nice, simple circuits, replace parts. Now you have more, got to replace the control board, got to replace the brain for this or that or whatever.
And your tools probably have changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we have motor readers. I've got a set of gauges that dials up to my phone to give me full input readings of everything.
That's really cool.
I had a set of manifold gauges that I had to read the needles. You know what they meant. Now you don't even have to do that. You can plug and play, plug them up, and my phone will tell me what I'm doing.
So that's funny that you mentioned that because a lot of the topics that we've been going into have been going into AI, and they've been leading into AI. So let's go through. If a customer is on ChatGPT and they're trying to repair their unit because of whatever problem they're having, when should they stop and just call you?
The moment they open ChatGPT and try to fix their air conditioner.
Yeah.
I've seen it work out for them.
Sure.
And I've shown up to the house and, hey, I put it through the Google machine and it says this.
Yep.
And 9 out of 10 times it's wrong. But that 10th time it was right.
Yeah.
Because it's collecting so much data from the ether, and there's a lot more nuance to the game than the small things.
Yeah.
I've had that. Hey, I think my unit's dead. I get out there. No, it had this little fuse here popped.
Yep.
Because a wire rubbed on the outside of your unit. Well, ChatGPT didn't know to look for that.
That's right.
Because we work with 2 different voltages. So if it just knows that nothing's happening, it's either going to think there's no big voltage or no little voltage.
Sure.
This one decided the breaker was tripped, and that she had a dead compressor. That she knew she had a dead compressor. Now I was happy to say no, it has nothing to do with that at all. You had a wire rub. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it's
easy fix.
If you want to look at it just to get an idea, that's fine. But the first thing I would do is take it with a grain of salt and not don't let it fear monger you.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it can run you down a rabbit hole.
For sure.
Do this, and by the time you show up, everything's on the ground, and there's not much you can do at that point.
Yes. If the first thing ChatGPT says to do is get out a screwdriver, call somebody.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'd say I recommend customers do everything they can without opening their unit. That's where I play.
Gotcha. And that's where you should play, right? There's certain places you just need a professional in your home that's been licensed, that's been through the training,
sure.
that's, like you said earlier, and more importantly, that's been on the job working, right? Because you can get a license, you can learn, everything you want to learn on ChatGPT, but until you actually physically get out there and do some of this work, you probably don't really know what you're doing.
There's a level to this where we joke like, well, I do air conditioning by feel.
Okay.
I show up to someone's house. I don't walk up with tools. I walk up, say hello, ask them about 20 questions. By the time I'm done with my 20 questions, I have a pretty strong idea of what's wrong. And from there, I just walk around and start listening for things. Because unfortunately, I've seen so many things break throughout my career. I can hear when it's going to be a capacitor, because I can hear the compressor buzzing and the fan's not spinning. Pretty simple. Walk up to the attic. The pan's full of water. Well, we know the drains line's clogged.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just visual things.
And stuff you learned over the years, like we said. Recently, my fridge went out about a month and a half ago, right? So I got a buddy, owns Mr. Appliance, give him a call, say, hey, dude, fridge is out, and it's one of these fridges, it's a good size 36-inch just fridge, no freezer, right? So it was an expensive fridge, and now it's an even more expensive fridge to fix, which is just crazy to me, but because it matches the freezer, you can't just buy a new one, right? So you have to fix it. So, and me understanding repairs, right, and things like that, I still call an expert, right? So I understand that it lost its coolant.
Yep.
That's what happened. There's a hole somewhere in the line. I understand that as a tradesman. But I'm not the guy to fix it, right? I'm just not. There's the guys that are better at that specific item to fix things. So that being said, what are some DIY stuff homeowners should be doing for their units and in and around their house to make sure that they don't have any big problems?
Love this. This is my bread and butter.
I know.
Okay. We already talked about air filters. If you can hear it talking, replace it. That's what everyone should be doing anyway. Don't leave your filters dirty, people. Cleanliness of the outside coil.
Okay.
I'm gonna explain something real quick, just so we understand why. We do not create cold air. We move heat.
Yep.
To move that heat, we take the heat from inside your house and move it outside. It can't move outside if the coil on the outside of the unit is covered in a fur blanket. It's going to retain that heat. That heat's going to go right back into your home. It's going to be inefficient, and it could cause massive failure.
Yeah.
I always recommend anybody who mows their own lawn or has a lawn care service, every 3 or 4 times that their lawn is mowed, every time the grass particles come up in the air, your air conditioner sucks that into it.
Yep.
It's making itself dirty just by running.
Okay.
Hose your system off. Not a lot of pressure. Just knock the dirt out of it. Every 2 or 3 times someone mows your lawn, you will see the difference in the longevity of your system. Keep it clean's job number 1. Okay. Now, beyond that, how do I keep my house cool? Insulation value is a big thing here in Middle Tennessee.
Very true.
Most people will buy a home, never look in the attic at how thick that insulation is, and wonder why it's 100 degrees outside and 85 inside there. My system never turns off The C-man came out here and said it's working perfectly fine. Why am I still hot? Well, are you adding heat to your home?
Yeah.
The easiest way, and I know it's not going to snow anytime soon, next time it snows on your house, if that snow's gone before everybody else is in the neighborhood, you need more attic insulation.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And I do that every year when it snows. I look at my neighbors, I'm like, you need insulation, you need insulation, you need insulation.
It's a fun little trick. In the summer, you'll notice because the thermostat won't stop going up.
Yeah.
But in the winter, you can actually see a physical piece. If you have an attic staircase, door stripping.
Okay, yep.
Pull down your attic staircase, put some door stripping around the top of it.
Yep.
Why? If air can get from inside your house into your attic, that's pulling heat into your attic. Heat is attracted to cool. That's a rule.
Yep.
Well, it's hot in your attic. It's cool inside your house. Where's that air trying to go? Down into your house. It may rise, but it'll also be lazy and follow the path of least resistance.
Sure.
Finally, if you have a split system, that means if there's a part inside your home and a part outside your home, there is a drain line that goes between A and B.
Yep.
Find it, walk around your house until you see a small PVC pipe. Buy yourself a small shop vac. They're $89 at Lowe's.
Okay.
Every so often, if you ever walk outside and it's not dripping water in the middle of summer, put a shop vac on it.
Get that cleaned out.
Clean it out.
Yeah.
Those are the small things that I spend most of my summer going around cleaning units, clearing drain lines.
Yeah.
There's catastrophic failures out there I'm not getting to because I'm doing the small things that you as a homeowner can do.
Yeah, and that's a great point. So I've had that exact problem. It's funny you say that. I had a drain line that wasn't draining. I didn't walk out there. You know, my default for HVAC is call the HVAC guy.
Right.
I think a lot of people are programmed that way because.
And I love those people. And please call. Bye.
Yeah. But you save yourself the service call.
Yeah.
Make sure it's clean. Make sure your coils are clean, right? Do you recommend that coil spray cleaner they sell at Lowe's and Depot? And
I recommend if you're going to have a chemical clean done, which you all should have it done by a professional.
Okay.
Say, doing your own washing and filter and drain cleaning, that's one thing. I still recommend always having regular scheduled maintenance to have eyes and ears on the other parts of the system.
Okay.
That way someone can tell if your capacitor is reading low, if the contactor's starting to pit. Those small things that will cause issues when it's 105 degrees outside, if we don't know about it, we can't tell you about it.
Yeah, very true.
And along with that, we will also clean your system and make sure it's going to run more efficiently. So it's really a checkup.
Okay, so talk to me about maintenance, like the maintenance plans that you guys offer and what you do within those maintenance plans. How often are you going out to the home? And then what are some things that you're doing to ensure those units run well?
All right, so we offer a maintenance program that has 2 visits a year, spring and fall, the standard for everyone. When we come out in the spring, we're going to take the system apart, pull all the leaves out of it, spray the coils from the inside out with a chemical foaming spray. What it is, it's a high alkaline based chemical that actually reacts with the metal in the fins, causing it to bubble and actually boil the dirt off the coil.
Okay.
Hosing it out will knock the dirt out of it. We're going to get the rest off.
Okay.
From there, we're going to go through all your electricals. Luckily, every air conditioning system has a data plate. On that data plate are the amp value for each motor.
Okay.
We're going to test your amperage. Just because it's starting to get, if it's above the number, we know it's going to go out. It'll run. We don't know when, but we definitely know it's going to happen. We'll check your contactor. That's the light switch that controls your compressor.
Yep.
When it comes to longevity of the unit, contactor will actually kill a compressor quicker than anything else. Think about a light switch. You jiggle a light switch, what happens? Kill the light bulb.
Yep.
Same idea. It's about a $3,000 light bulb.
Yeah, that's a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference. And then, of course, you have the capacitor, the normal failure of heat.
Okay.
Checking that in the spring is very important because it'll start a motor, but what it also does is absorb heat off that motor. So
Gotcha.
It's going to fail. It's going to be when there's a high heat input.
So when you're doing your maintenance and you find that capacitor is lower than what it should be, that's a, let's fix this now type of situation, right?
It's a heavy recommendation.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes, it is running right now, but because the value of the capacitance has dropped below this certain range, it's time to start thinking about replacing it because it's gonna go out.
Yeah. And it's, one of the things that we talk about in here is it's tough for customers to recognize quality contractors over people who are out there to earn a living maybe not doing it the correct way, right? So, and it's not to say there's a lot of great contractors in Nashville. There really is, but there's also people that try to take advantage of customers. So, you know, your capacitor recommendation. Have you ever seen somebody gone behind another company and they're like, hey, you need a new unit, right? So talk to me about some of the scary stuff that you've gone behind. We don't need to get specific on who and when, but that you've gone behind and found.
Yeah, okay, fun horror stories. We offer second opinions to everybody.
Yeah.
Because as you just said, there's sometimes people out there trying to get your goat. We'll start with last week.
Last week, so it was recent.
Recently on my live. Went out to Cookeville. Customer of ours had a contractor out. It was a 1994 furnace, so old.
Yeah.
And they said that the blower motor was bad and needs a new control board. Gave him a nice hefty ticket for it, trying to push replacement. Hey, it's 1994 furnace. Let me go out there and take a look. See, normally both aren't bad. That's always a shiny signal if it's either one or the other, to be honest with you.
Good note, yeah.
Well, I get out there, and the first thing I do when I open the door to the mechanical room is a commercial real estate place, and I can hear the blower motor running. Okay.
So that's spinning.
The motor.
Yeah.
Well, what controls that motor? The board. Well, it's doing its job. I'm Jacob Hoover with the Crew Heating and Air Conditioning. We are a fully licensed and insured contractor in Middle Tennessee. We do residential and light commercial heating and air conditioning, maintenance contracts, repair work, replacement, and duct cleaning. We like to focus on the little things so the little things don't turn into big things. You can reach us at 615-283-0309 or find us at thecrew.com. You're not supposed to hear the ocean and air conditioner. Bad. What happened was, and it was simple as this, the guy came out and found the unit frozen. Blower motor, so he went to the air filter and tried the old filter test. When we check blower motors, we pull the filter out and see if it snaps back in. This one wouldn't. And it wasn't because the blower wasn't pulling hard enough. He said the blower motor wasn't pulling hard enough, the motor's going out, zob it up, still have no idea why I want the control board. But the reason why the motor wasn't pulling was because the housing was full of water.
Well, yeah. That'll stop it.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Can't pull air through water.
Yeah.
So what was supposed to be, I think, a $2,000 ticket, I just took everything apart, dumped it outside. $500 later, the customer has a perfectly working air conditioner.
Yeah. And they don't have to worry about the big ticket and all the other things. Yeah.
And it's things like that keep me up at night. What was wrong? Water.
You know, and we highlight people like yourself, and it's not by happenstance who we invite on this show, right? Because when we hear stories of, you know, customers being taken advantage of, those are the things that they trigger me, if you will. And I want to educate people on how not to be taken advantage of.
And the biggest way, and this is something I always tell people, air conditioners can always be fixed. You may not want to pay that cost. That is your decision.
Yeah.
But never let someone tell you that there's nothing we can do with it. Parts exist. Yes, if you have a 1998 carrier package unit and that coil has a leak in it, the part doesn't exist anymore. Like, I'm sorry, that one I can't fix.
Yeah.
But if your system's from 2010 or newer, something can be done.
Yeah.
There's levels to this, as I like to say.
Sure.
When it comes to fixing things, it should always be a customer's right to have that option.
Yeah. They shouldn't feel pressured.
No.
Right. Second opinion, something you say, you know, when we meet pretty often, I am always good for a second opinion. Yeah. I want to give second opinions. I want to get out. I want to look at it. Use me for a second opinion.
Please.
Yeah.
I tell you, I like being the hero guy. I want to come out and save the damsel in distress. Can I always save them? No. But I want my shot.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, sometimes, and this is an issue with my industry, the technical ability compared to the sales ability are not as good as I'd like.
That's true.
It's a lot easier to sell it than to fix it sometimes, because there's a lot of really hard repairs out there.
Yeah.
With my background, I came from a repair first background. I did home warranty for a long time, and the word replacement was verboten. That's German for don't do it. Fix it. Yeah. And so I 10 years of that made it to where I have a different outlook on it. I'm like, yeah, I can fix it.
Yeah.
You'd say, I'm going to give you, now you may not want to pay that. That's the big thing. Everyone thinks that I'm against replacement. No, I just believe it should be the homeowner's decision. and it's their money. It's not my money.
Yeah. And it's the last resort. Like you shouldn't, if you know you can repair it for $1,500, $2,000, even if you have to spend that much money, it's better than $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on a unit, right?
Every bit, as long as that unit. And I say this: if that unit wasn't performing, that's where you look at it going, how much do you love this unit?
Sure.
Are you married to it?
Yeah.
If you are, cool. Let's fix it now. Go with me.
So I've had this happen at my house. Once or twice, and I know it's pretty common, right? Ice over.
Yeah.
Right? So explain to our watchers when it's 100 degrees outside in your HVAC unit.
Turns into a giant ice cube?
Yeah. What's happening there?
Okay. So we go back to moving heat.
Yep.
So the indoor coil to catch that heat inside your house is running below the temperature in your house. If it's 70 degrees in your house, that coil temperature will be around 35 degrees.
Okay.
Now, if we do three things: restrict refrigerant, not have enough refrigerant, or restrict airflow, that coil will not be above freezing. It will be sitting anywhere between 32, 31 degrees and lower.
Okay.
That's how you get ice. The reason why it turns to ice, and this is my favorite part of the game, is humidity.
Yep.
There's always moisture in the air. Well, when that coil is freezing up, it's actually the humidity in your air sticking to it.
Yeah, and that's Tennessee. We're a very humid state.
It's wet outside.
Yeah.
Most people don't know this. The first thing to do whenever you have a unit freeze up, check your air filter. Yeah. I've talked about it 3 times already. If that filter's dirty, congratulations. Pop it, put a new one in, let your system cool down, de-thaw, mind you, then turn it back on. There's a chance it could just be a dirty air filter.
Okay.
You're not going to be the first customer I said, hey, your filter's dirty. It happens all the time. Oh. Especially a lot of people who have large media filters inside their homes. You have the wall filter.
Yep.
Those are one thing. But under the house, some have about 4-inch media filters that you're supposed to change every 6 months that they haven't changed in 3 years because they didn't do their regular scheduled maintenance. Get people to look at your unit. They get to hear, hey, it's just an air filter, and once we fix this, everything will be fine.
Yeah.
But had they known about it, they could be checking that themselves. Low refrigerant is the second reason why it normally happens. There's not enough refrigerant inside the system to achieve that 32-degree minimum coil to not turn to an ice cube.
Yeah.
Fun fact, everybody, air conditioners don't eat Freon. If it's missing,
you got a leak. Just like my fridge.
Yeah, just like his fridge. It doesn't eat it. Luckily, the industry's gotten away from telling people that, oh no, your system just eats it every couple of years. About 15 years ago when I first started, there was still the old guard who was like, oh no, your unit just needs gassed up every summer, it'll be fine. At least we've gotten away from that.
Yeah.
If it's missing, it is leaking. Now, here's the fun thing that no one tells you about. There are such things as 5-year leaks. It can take 5 years for that to leak back down again.
Yeah.
So if somebody, the first time you've ever had a unit freeze up, you've lived there for 10 years, first time it's happened. Oh, it's low refrigerant. Okay. Ask how many pounds.
Okay.
Beep, beep.
How many pounds are in a typical 3-ton unit?
3 ton?
Yeah.
That's 6 to 7.
Okay.
6 to 7. It's always ask how many. If they say I don't know, question that.
Okay.
Anyone worth their salt can look at their gauges and tell if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pounds low. My recommendation has always been if it's over 3 pounds, time to start being worried.
Yeah.
If you have a system that holds 20 pounds, 3 pounds ain't that bad, but those are few and far between, as it were.
Okay.
First time it freezes up due to lack of refrigerant, I have no idea how long it took for it to leak out. If this is the first time you've had a leak, and you've lived here, this is your unit, I'd roll the dice on a fill up if it's only a couple pounds.
Okay.
Because I don't know how long it's going to take for it to leak back down.
Yeah.
Because what they're going to want to do is go straight to a leak search. Well, leak search, once we find that leak, I can't add Freon now. Now we got to replace it, because what they're going to do is they're going to jump it full of nitrogen. Well, that refrigerant that you had inside that system now is completely ruined, and you're going to have to do a major repair whether you want to or not.
Wow.
So for the consumer, I'll always say, if someone says, hey, you're low refrigerant, ask how much, and then try to keep a catalog of how often you're adding. Because I've seen, I
That's a good point.
It's just that whole thing of coming from a different mentality of how long will this last?
Yeah. If it's going out every year or 2 years, you probably have a bigger problem.
You have a leak.
Yeah, you need to get it addressed. Either get the leak repaired or get the unit or the piece replaced that's leaking.
Absolutely.
Right? When customers are looking to hire somebody to come out to do their regular maintenance or to do fun or scary in a disaster moment or something that's happened, obviously we're going to plug the crew. But what do they need to look for when it comes to who to hire?
First thing I do is go for the person you know and trust who's lived in their home long enough to already have a guy.
Yeah.
See who they're using.
Okay.
The smaller the company, the better, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. Everyone has one.
Yeah.
The larger the company game.
Even our business, it's getting big, right?
Yeah.
And it's, you do have bills at the end of the day, right? But to your point, the smaller guys can give you that personalized.
I would want somebody who I know, someone who I trust, someone they trust.
Yeah.
That we work in a business of referrals. We do B&I together. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I trust this guy, therefore, so should you.
Yeah.
It's all about building that up. That's the only way we market our company.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, look and see what their reviews are.
Yeah.
And don't start at the top reviews. Don't read their 5 stars.
Yeah. 5 stars are easy to read.
Yeah. Don't read their 5 stars.
Yep.
Go look at their 1 stars are and see if there's a pattern.
That's right.
And that's the easiest way I always say. If you want to research a company, look at their bad reviews, see if there's a pattern.
Yep.
And if there's a pattern of, hey, I had another company come out and it turned out to be this. That's a pattern. That's not really a reputable company, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not somebody you want to work with. If they're constantly saying they tried to sell me more than I needed, another company sold me less, right, or charged me less to do the same type of repair or whatever it is. Paying for quality service is one thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a big proponent of that. I believe that if somebody's good at what they do, they should be paid well for it.
Totally agree.
But we're not in the business to take advantage of people either.
No.
Right?
It's like, there's nothing wrong with a $2,000 repair as long as they need that $2,000 repair. I'm not hating on how much you're charging. I got to complain about the fact that it doesn't need to be done.
Yeah, and that's where we run into those contractors that might not be doing the right thing by the customers.
Sometimes they're throwing parts at it. We call it the part changing epidemic. I think the saying is those who can't teach. Well, in my industry, those who can't throw parts at it.
That's actually a good analogy. I like that. So, Jacob, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. We are all about consumer education here. This is what this platform was built for, and you've done a great job today. So, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all the socials, and I look forward to seeing you next week.